The footage you are seeing is from an upcoming PvPvE shooter called Grey Zone Warfare. And this game is developed by a new studio called Madfinger Games from roughly 80 people or higher. It's developed on Unreal Engine 5 and it's a blend of a survival and extraction shooter. Now, this game is set on a fictional island in the Southeast Asia where the entire area has been put under international quarantine with the entire civilian population evacuated. What remains is 3 PMC organizations have gone into the island to pretty much investigate it and plunder it. They just want to get all the good stuff off the island and get out. And there are AI factions. I mean, it is a PvPvE game, so yes, there are other AI factions or AI enemies you have to deal with. Now, the core gameplay loop is going to be something similar to other extraction games. You have missions to do. You need to go to the location on the island where those missions or mission are or is, and then complete that mission. But you don't then just head to an extraction point and extract back to the main menu for the game. It's not a lobby-based extraction game like Tarkov or Hunt Showdown. The servers are persistent, so that means the server you join will not shut down unless it crashes or whoever's hosting the server just shuts it down. And when you log off for the night, your progress, your inventory, it's saved, and you can then jump on to a different server and your progress will carry on. Your inventory will still be what it was when you left the previous server. The developers have said that every server should feel a little bit unique because, to quote them, they have said, also in the next updates, you will be able to capture bandits' camps, and every server you join should be different and a little bit unique. While they did say in that quote you can capture bandit places, there is no information available yet of how you capture them or what you can do with these bandit camps once you've captured them. Now, in these persistent servers, there's a max of 48 players. That's 48 players at once, not in total like saved accounts or progress accounts on it. And because you can join one of 3 PMC factions, that's 16 players per PMC faction with squads up to 4 players. So yes, if you want to go in solo, you'll be able to go in solo and try and take out multiple squads by yourself. I'm not sure how the PMC faction will change anything gameplay wise, appearance wise, or quest or mission wise. Really don't know yet. Now, in terms of the world size, the landmass is roughly the same size as the landmass from GTA 5, maybe a little bit smaller because this world is 42 kilometers squared, and I believe the landmass of GTA 5 is 48 kilometers squared. So while the player count is only 48, and 48 is really low for a multiplayer first-person shooter, this isn't a traditional multiplayer first-person shooter though, because there will be AI around. So I think you will encounter players quite regularly, and then when all your gunshots and gunfights start kicking off, other players are going to investigate because they are going to want to kill you and take your loot. And in this footage, we do get a little look at some of the items available in the game, some of the weapons, the healing items, and the other equipment that your guy can carry. There will be night vision goggles coming to the game at some point. And some quests you get will have you getting items from the game world, but these quest items, the developers have said, are local to you. So pretty much if you need a quest item, that item will be there for you. Even if, say, 47 other people have gone to that one location and picked up the same item, it's still going to be there for you, so you don't have to worry about not being able to progress those types of quests. Looking at this footage, the inventory system and the attachment system seems quite similar to Tarkov, but no idea so far if there is like a main menu style stash or something like that. Something that other extraction games have. Not too sure on that yet. The game will feature what the developers are calling a unique health system. And to quote the developers in an interview they did on a website, we even simulate the cavities inside the body, so it works differently. It's not just some kind of line going through your body, but it's actually making a cavity and injuring your organs. For example, we don't have HP like health points, we have body parts and organs. If the organ is destroyed, you die. If you survive, there are some kinds of big consequences. We call them symptoms and effects. You can then, for example, bleed out. Reading that, you could say it could be something a little bit similar to Tarkov and the health system that has. While Tarkov doesn't have organs, it does have different body parts. I just hope that they don't have too many different healing items for various effects and symptoms. One thing I found really frustrating in Tarkov was the different healing items you needed to tackle the different effects you could get, like light bleed and heavy bleed. And I don't know, the other effects. I haven't played Tarkov in quite a long time. Now, to help tackle cheaters, because there will be cheaters, there's a PvP aspect. There's always going to be cheaters. There's something you can't stop. They have said there's going to be more than one anti-cheat solution, and everything that you do in the game will be verified server-side. The devs aren't going into too much detail about the anti-cheat solutions they have because they don't want to give any information really out to cheat makers. The developers have also confirmed that the game will have no microtransactions. I will say though that other game developers have said this, and then down the line they've put in some form of microtransactions, so just kind of expect any game, any multiplayer game nowadays to have some form of microtransactions, but at least for launch there will be no microtransactions. For people that don't want a PvP aspect to this game, the developers have said that in the future there will be PvE only servers coming, and that the early access version when it releases is probably only around about 20% of their current design for the game, and that's going to be missing a lot of stuff from the full final version, or we'll say like version 1.0 when it comes out of early access. For example, they've said skills, crafting, day-night cycle, a weather system, and much more will be introduced to the game during this early access development. Now, in terms of how I feel about the game, looking at this footage they've said, I am quite interested in it. While this footage is only fighting AI, and I think AI is difficult to make like it feel good fighting only AI in these types of games. You need to make them really intelligent, and the AI so far doesn't seem that great. I think it seems serviceable, but we know the core is fighting players. One thing I like to talk about is Hunt Showdown and how the AI work in that game. While the AI are nothing to worry about, you pretty much can kill all the AI monsters in one hit. What they mainly serve as in Hunt is what I call sound traps, because when you're fighting the AI monsters, they make noises, your character makes noises, and it just alerts the other hunters of your presence, of where you are. And in these types of games, that's pretty much what the AI is going to be for. Yes, they're going to be guarding certain areas and certain items for quests, but really they're going to be there to alert the other players of what's going on. And unfortunately, we don't get to see any PvP in this gameplay footage that you're seeing right now. This footage does seem like the players are really just taking their time, going through this sort of compound and doing a mission, taking out some AIs, and, well, taking it slow, being a bit tactical. And I think generally that's how people are going to play the game, because damage is going to be quite high. You're going to be able to die pretty quickly, I think. But to me, what this looks like, while it's a different genre, while it's like a blend of survival and extraction, this style of game is really what I wanted Ghost Recon to be. Like a larger world where it's slower, tactical, more multiplayer. You really need to work with your team. But Ghost Recon turned into Wildlands and Breakpoint. I mean, Wildlands, I think they released like a beta or demo on the Xbox 360, I think it was. And I played that with my friends, and we didn't even finish the demo or beta, whatever it was, because it was too boring. Breakpoint, yeah, that wasn't good as well. But this is what I think Ghost Recon should have been. Not necessarily an extraction game, but something like this, where it is slower and a bit more tactical. So I'm really quite looking forward to Grey Zone Warfare. I think you do need to be a bit wary nowadays of indie games that are coming out because of all the shite we've recently had in the industry with games like the day before, but also quadruple A pieces of shite like Skull and Bones. I know some content creators have got their hands on this game, and I think they are uploading videos of their impressions on the 15th of March. I'm not one of those players, unfortunately, but as soon as I can get my hands on it, I will let you guys know what I think on it. I think this game could make a bit of a splash. There is a big market out there for these extraction games. You just need to look at Tarkov. There are other extraction games that just are not as big, but with something like this, where it's kind of similar aesthetic to Tarkov, but different and on a larger scale in terms of the world size, I think it could make a bit of a splash with gamers. It will only be a PC release. I don't think the console release is planned at all. But if you want to stay up to date on news on Grey Zone Warfare and hopefully some gameplay footage and impressions, then subscribe to the channel because I will be getting that out to you. Let me know what you think of Grey Zone Warfare down in the comments below. Give the video a like if you liked it, dislike if you didn't. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.